Welcome everyone. Good to have you here. I'm hoping you can help me, and yeah, I'm gonna do some designing. I could really use your opinion, and I want to just hear how everybody is doing. So thanks so much for joining me today. It's good to see you, and we'll get this started. So I'm just gonna show you a logo that I've been working on, and honestly, I need your help figuring out which one to go with. That is the goal, and I will be designing it a little bit more as well. All right, cool. Just give me 1 second. So sorry about this. Just there we go. Cool. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me. There we are. Okay. Wow, that does work. It's amazing. All right, just trying some things. Ijup, awesome. Good to have you here, Ijup. Fantastic. All right, let's switch screens and we'll get into this. And if you're joining me on Instagram, I would love it if you could say hello. That would be great. But anyways, let's get this started. Sorry, 1 more second. Let me just switch back, because you can see the logo I started with, and I'm going to show you the new one. I'll show you the problem with the current logo. Essentially, it looks like a P and an R, so that's not going to work because I'm going for a P and a T, just so you know. All right, there we go. Boom, did my job. Let's do this. Jumping in here, here we are. So that's the problem with this. It looks like a P and an R, and what I'm going for is Paul Trani, right? So that's the goal. And you can see if you go to Paul Trani's portfolio, that should link us. There we are. So here's where it's kind of set up. And I think that looks nice, but it still looks like a P and an R. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm running into, and I wish it wasn't that way. So Froja, would love to hear what you think. So I started working on this next one right here. So taking that and reversing it. So that's all I did. Take this element, I just double click on the reflect tool, hit enter. All right, and now I have a P, and hopefully something looks more like a T is the idea, but I also have this version. So let's do this really fast. We'll take this, we'll group this element, and we will flip them. We'll take this element, flip it as well. There we are, boom, boom, shaboom, shaboom, shaboom. And I will adjust accordingly. So again, here is option number 2, basically a P and a T, where we reverse the letter P, and whether it still reads as a P is kind of the big question. So there we are, boom. Or basically it is this one. So what do you guys think? Just kind of curious. I have this one, then I have this one. 2 to choose from. Let me know, Afroja. Would love to hear what you have to say. And awesome. Muriel as well. Let me know what you think. Which one do you like? Let's see who we have. I think we have James and Michelle. Would love to hear you as well. I haven't had anybody comment on LinkedIn. So yeah, so I'd love to just see you comment on LinkedIn, Michelle or James. That'd be super cool. So I want to make sure I can see those comments. But sounds like we have votes. Michelle actually likes the first one. Okay, the second one doesn't look like a P. Thank you. Perfect. That's what I need. First one is cool. Okay, so everybody's kind of leaning toward this one. First one is cool. Fantastic. All right, and just so you know, I've created a bunch of other versions. I kind of went through the process of bending this paper. I'm just kind of having fun with it right now, and that's kind of what I'm working on. Hey, Paco, what's up, man? I am live right now, and we are kind of working through some logo designs. Okay, so James agrees as well. So it sounds like, again, these other versions, again, let's get away from the P and the R. We have this one, which we reversed, which doesn't work quite so much, you know, because it's already a step removed from a P to begin with. So when you reverse it, you definitely don't see it. But right here, okay, awesome. Cool, cool. Very cool, everyone. All right, so yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take this, and usually what I do is I have two different versions. So I'll have a black version and then a white version. All right, so let's just take this. We can think about reversing it. In fact, let's try this. Let's go to Edit, Edit Colors, because I'm lazy, even though it's just white. We'll go to Recolor Artwork, right? We'll go into Advanced Options. And here's where we can make sort of the black white and the white black. Let's give it 3 colors. We could do it this way, or we can go to Edit, which I've kind of never really done before. But anyways, you can see those different colors. So let's go in here. Let's click right here. Let's just crank this up is all we'll do. We'll make the black whites and the whites black. Okay. Right in here, the white's black. So there we go. We reversed it. It was pretty easy. You could see the grays right in here. We can choose whether we want to make those black, and we still have some white there, which is interesting. Again, let's just take a look. You know, I might even just making all this black. This is really what it needs to be. I don't know. Again, I'm just working on this. Thanks for hanging out with me. Maybe this is sort of the version that's going to be on white. You know, looks like that. I think that's what we should go with. Keep it clean. Keep it clean and just make it nice. I like this little bit of depth. We could think about having a black version, white version, and then a full color version as well. So that's what I am thinking about. Fantastic. All right. If anybody wants to know what's going on in the back end, I'm actually viewing comments through Restream, but I cannot post to LinkedIn through Restream. All right, so we'll take that. We will open up our libraries panel, because ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Creative Cloud library that has all of my branding in it, mainly so I could jump out to spark.adobe.com and start dropping my logo everywhere. Because again, I'm going to have various assets that I just need to start kicking out, if you will. Flat black is awesome. Thank you, Katie. This is so helpful to get another set of eyes. I'm not a huge fan of like design by committee, so I wouldn't send this out to everybody and tell everybody like, hey, what do you think? I like hearing from trusted people, and usually people following the stream are designers, so that's why this is really helpful. Okay, libraries, here we are. We'll go back. We'll take a look. We will just add a new one, create a new library really fast. Let's do this. Paul. We'll just title it Paul Tranny. We'll take this. Here we are. Drop this in. Right, there's our graphic, and we'll just call this logo white. We'll do the same here. It's pretty straightforward what I'm doing now. Bam. We have our logo black. These are no longer linked, by the way. So if I want to edit this, I got to double click, right, and open up this source document. And this is what the source document looks like. So from there, I'm going to continue to sort of load this library up with a bunch of cool stuff is the idea. Right, let's do, we could do a create a group, by the way, or auto-generate groups for me. Let's just do auto-generate, right? And now it's going to say vector graphics, but it's going to say vector graphics for everything. I could always change that. All right, let's jump back out. Shabam, here we are. Is everybody having a nice day today, huh? I hope so. Let's go in here. We have libraries, and we just have to make sure that you're signed into the same Creative Cloud account. I'm looking. There I am, right? That's the right icon. Let's go right in here. Yeah, that's the right icon. You can see right in here in my Creative Cloud desktop app, it's actually syncing. So that's kind of how we're able to tell. It's syncing libraries, and it's going to take a little bit of time. Nothing's broken, but I typically like to go to my desktop app to take a peek in here and say, hey, you know what? What's going on? I went through a lot of files and cleaned up a lot of stuff today just because my cloud storage was getting full mainly, but a lot is basically kind of syncing up as we speak right now. But once that's set up, I'll be able to create something from my templates that I'm ultimately going to make, which is going to be really nice, right? So we could do a social post. I like this. Look at all this wonderful stuff. Social profile, right? So we have our Facebook profile cover or our page cover, which is perfect, right? And we could start to drop some images in there. If you move the T around a little bit, if it will make it look as less like an R. Okay, that's a good question. And there's some random photos. Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. We can go back over here. This is, again, the original, like so. And even as I look at it, this tail of this P is like super long, right? That seems kind of weird, right? We can actually bring that in a little bit. But again, just playing with things today as my library syncs. Let's move that over. And we'll take this part and pull it down. Right, you get the idea. It's a little tall, right? Even on both sides. Let me see. Okay, good. I still have the original. Let's go in here. Let's grab this. Shrink it up like so. Okay. Chris is saying, I wonder what it would look like if the center of the P is the same spacing as the crossbar as the T. Yeah, the direction of the P suggests the missing part of the T, and it communicates progression. Oh, thank you, Chris. You are too kind. But basically, I think what you're saying is like the spacing of this, the center of this P versus the center of this. I'm noticing it almost might be an illusion, but it seems like this P is thicker than this T, which is just kind of something that's happening, which is quite odd. Yeah, you got it, Steven. This PT is for Paul Tranny. Now, when I have it on the same level, it actually looks like a T at this point, right? It's like you said, Michelle, when you offset it, it starts to look a little bit different. And I get it. So yeah. Yeah. So there we go. We could play with shadows in here, which I love to do. We will send this to the back and just kind of twirl this down. I'll show you where the stacking order is right here, right? We could send that to the back. Command Shift open bracket sends that to the back or the bottom. And then we can play with a gradient here. Let's actually ungroup it. Let's take this element. Let's sample this. Bam! There we are. Excuse me. Go in here, make it radial. We'll flip this radial, right? Because I want to be able to grab this and just put it like right there. Like it's just giving it a little bit of a shadow. Again, something fun. Is it going to work? Maybe not. The negative space in the P and the thickness of the T. The negative space in the P. Yeah. So you're talking this negative space? I don't want to make this negative space any bigger. I think it'll look weird. It could be me. What I think maybe we need to do is adjust these two. So relatively, I'm making the, I don't know, just making the letters a little bit smaller. I don't know, something like that. And again, I might not even go with this one. I like how it extends out. This one actually might not work, but it is reading as a P and a T. So let's do this. Let's drop this over here. Remember our winner so far, or lead contender. Let's move that one out. That one gets fired. It goes to the backup artboard. We'll take this one. We'll make it a little larger and place it next to this one here. So let's get rid of that gray and kind of view these. Kind of like that, right? And really I'm playing with color here. Oftentimes this would be black and white to begin with. Thank you. Michelle likes the shading. I do too. I think that those little things, honestly, this is very rarely would this be printed out. If it's going to be printed out, it's going to look like this, which I love how crisp this is. And this is why I think this one is working, by the way. And you guys tell me what you think. I now have these two. Like, yeah. Yeah, non-destructive. It's what we want to do. So yeah, these are the ones. Let's take this. So we want to do this is we want to say, hey, you know, what will this look like if it's just flat black printed out? So let's compare these two, one to the next. We'll group those. We'll take this one, we'll move it over, make sure it's grouped, right? And now we get a good representation of what this looks like, right? I would say, I don't know what you guys think. You guys are here to help me. Just kidding. You're here to hopefully help me, like, help me with this design. Ultimately, is the goal, to be honest. So selfishly, I really just need your opinion. I think this one's a little bit stronger. What do you think? Now we have sort of A and B, or 1 and 2. Yeah, I still think this one is stronger. Feels fun. Okay, thank you, Chris. Chris, you've provided some great input. So if people don't like my logo, I'm gonna tell them to come talk to you. Just kidding. Yeah, I agree. Let's kind of dissect why everybody thinks that A so far, why A works. For one, I like the angle right here. These two angles are mirroring each other. This provides like a little sort of different element, if you will. This one's just like kind of boring. Like, I don't know. It's just like there's nothing. It's not even a good lockup. I feel like this is a good lockup. These are just two letters that are smashed together using some futuristic font. Right? So I feel like it doesn't work well together at all. All right. Yeah, I think you are right. I agree with Michelle. The second one looks more like a PT. The first logo looks good in black and white. It looks more like a T in that one. So this is what I think about logos. 9 times out of 10, like, people aren't going to like, their first exposure to, say, me as a brand might not be this logo, right? I don't think this is going to be separated out much from, you know, my portfolio or Instagram. So they would have had to type in Paul Tranny's portfolio to get here in the first place. So I'm just thinking of the context they would discover this logo. They're not going in that cold. So yeah. All right. Chris, if the world doesn't like it, you're in so much trouble. Just kidding. All right, so let's do this. I think we're on the right track. These are the ones that we have saved. Doesn't need to have a color version. I could play with a color version later on. I can make an animated version. What I'd actually love to do with this is have this like cycle through colors, kind of like similar to, say, the Netflix intro, how it cycles through lots of color and then ends up on white. That's what I'd want to do with this. Have it cycle through a bunch of colors and then ultimately reveal the P and the T. So that'll be fun to work on. But once that's set up, let's go back out. Let's just see if this is ready to do its thing. We'll make a cover really fast, and then and again, this is what I had before. This is my type lockup, which is really fun. It's my favorite font. This fit in nice and neat. But yeah, that's not really what I wanted to do. That was my logo. Let's go to libraries. Sure enough, there it is. Finally, my library is there. Click. Oh, it'll be there. Oh, don't tell me that there's nothing there. There is something there. We are just waiting for it to sync, and I'm sorry it's taking a second. Let's take a look at this. Libraries is still syncing, again, because I deleted a bunch of files. And for those of you who run into this issue, by the way, if you run out of space, go to assets.adobe.com, Cloud Documents, go through all of these, but you could even start with deleted. Because chances are, these are all your deleted files that we hold on to, and you can come in and do a Shift Select, and you can start selecting a lot of files like so, and then permanently delete. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's just deleting from my deleted. Some of them might be, actually might have been made with an earlier version of an app. I don't know why some of these aren't being deleted, but nonetheless, that's easily a Paul internal issue with that situation. Anyways, so you guys get the idea. I think we landed on a logo that we like, and I can start to use it as soon as it syncs, and that's my plan. So now you know. Right? So again, ultimately, once I have this library squared away with the animations, all that good stuff, I'll be able to use this across like everywhere. So I'm going to have that consistency, and it's going to be consistent. I'm going to be able to knock out all of the graphics that I need to for all my social media is the plan. So, all right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you guys. I want to be respectful of your time. Thanks for hanging out with me and chiming in. Thank you, Michelle, for chiming in on LinkedIn, and I appreciate that. Afroja on Facebook and other people on YouTube. So thanks so much. Have a beautiful day. And I got more things coming this week. Gonna be knocking out some videos on this stuff and everything. So that's the plan. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate you. Be kind to one another. Make sure you drink lots of water, huh? How about that? We'll talk to you guys. See ya. Thank you.